I've done a number of videos now on the release of the guidebooks to horror films that were out in the mid 1970s by various authors. The two most remembered are Dennis Gifford and Alan Frank. All right. And yeah, that's how it was in the mid 70s. But 1977, 78 trundles along, and a film called Star Wars comes out, and suddenly it's a massive success, and suddenly attention focuses over to science fiction. And you had a huge amount of books and magazines released, cashing in on the public's interest in science fiction again. Science fiction in the mid 70s, it was a bit of a no-no. It had its day. It was considered passé and cliche. And it really went into the doldrums in the late 60s. And any science fiction that was being produced after, say, Star Trek, science fiction films became very thoughtful, very serious. The likes of 2001, Planet of the Apes was a rare science fiction blockbuster at that time. But no, they became thoughtful films which would sometimes have a message, you know, the likes of Silent Running, Soylent Green, you know, warnings to us as to where we're going as a species. And then right around about 1975, with Space 1999 and Logan's Run, we were starting to see, you know, a resurgence of science fiction that could be fun and lightweight again. And then, of course, Star Wars happens, and we have an explosion. And science fiction's never been the same again. Everything, I mean, you get exceptions, but mainly if you watch something science fiction now, it is of the romp kind, if you like. And as I say, when Star Wars came out, publications were released immediately. And, you know, being a science fiction as well as a horror fan, I had to have them. And today we're looking at this one, which, again, is written by Alan Frank. Sci-Fi Now, 10 exciting years of science fiction from 2001 to Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, this was quite canny, this book, because it restricts you down to just those 10 years. I like how on the back we have the blurb, okay, saying about how science fiction has become the most popular and inventive cinema genre today. That was true, okay. And I like how it says, in a book which is as contemporary as the latest space shot, Alan Frank looks at the major landmarks as well as many rare and unusual examples. He also discusses science fiction on television. Yeah, it was contemporary then in 1978, because this is when this book came out. It's very dated now. So I thought we'll have a flick through it today. So that's why it's on my lap. Again, apologies for my leg, but in this way I can show you images from this closer up. If I do it this way, I'll try and keep the camera as steady as possible. All right. So I've had this since 1978. I don't know when in 1978 it came out. If we say round about, I don't know, June. All right. So I was still at school then. I was in my last year at school, and I bought this, and I've had it ever since. And let's have a look, shall we? So we'll go through £1.25. And yeah, you've got to have Star Wars in it. Star Wars sold. All right. So, and there's Close Encounters, which, you know, was came out straight after Star Wars. Star Wars. I like this book because, as it says at the back, there are unusual subjects as well. And like some of the books, it was my first look at things I'd never heard of before. And some of the films in here I still haven't seen. I just have never encountered them. So, yeah, you've got to open with Star Wars. Most people, because of the cover, C-3PO's on it, Close Encounters is on it. Let's buy it. I don't know how many children would have gone, oh, it's 2001, let's buy it. So, yeah, it opens with Star Wars, quite a bit about Star Wars, and then straight into sci-fi TV. Great photos. This book was really good. I mean, there wasn't much in the way of Space 1999 merchandise. You had the annuals and the making of book, the small paperback making of book. I mean, it's looking back now, it's easy to forget with all the books and the internet now, where you have so much information in imagery. Things like this were scarce back then. And I would latch onto it because it's a big photo of an alien from Space 1999, completely forgetting how rubbish that alien was in Space 1999. But hey, it's an alien. All right. Is that Logan's Run? Let me have a look. Yeah, Logan's Run. I haven't seen the Logan's Run TV series since it aired. And I kind of I'm scared to go back and watch it. So yeah, it's weird. We have The Day After Tomorrow, we have The Invisible Man, but then we have The Bed Sitting Room. That's the first of our unusual choices. I've tried watching that film. Again, there's images of it throughout the books, and it's like, that looks very interesting. Then I try watching it, and it's just deathly dull. Logan's Run again, Space 1999, Logan's Run, Star Trek. I mean, technically, Star Trek shouldn't be in there, but I guess it was on reruns. 2001, of course, alongside a film that was being made at exactly the same time, Moon 02, Hammer's science fiction epic. It was the space western before Star Wars. We've discussed this on our Hammer Horrors podcast. There's The Bed Sitting Room again. The green slime, used to love looking at that photo. That was in other books. Marooned. Lost Continent gets a look in. I wouldn't really call that science fiction, but there you go. THX 1138 alongside 2001. Yeah, we're in the serious science fiction. Strange World. This is a film I've never seen before. No Blade of Grass. Very Mad Maxy, but I've never encountered that. Good old Charlton. Yeah. What other books do you have? Clockwork Orange alongside Planet of the Apes. Horror Express. Again, okay, yes, it was an alien from space, but that's horror rather than science fiction. Oh, I've just realised the title, Apes Dominate. Must say, I don't flick through this book very often. I used to flick through it a lot back in the 70s. I don't think I ever really read the text. I just studied the pictures. Yeah, that was a bit startling to see old Valerie like that in this book. Space humour. I question whether that's humour, and I don't remember an awful lot of humour in that film. What is going on here? Donald. Again, that's the Mutations. That's more a horror film than science fiction. Again, I still haven't seen The Little Prince. Violent Encounters. I still haven't seen that. That's The Ultimate Warrior. Rollerball, of course. Oof. That's painful to watch now. I used to love the images, and it's like, oh no, this is very silly. Man Who Fell to Earth. I mean, the photo reproductions are really, really good. The big one. Uh, I don't think so. The Island of Dr. Moreau was a big one. It was a big something. Mm, yeah. Welcome to Blood City. Never seen that. I wish I'd never seen that. Yeah. Space Cruiser. Oh, sorry. Never seen that. And we finished with Star Wars. Strange reproductions of the photos there. But these were great. I mean, there were Star Wars magazines and the comic out and that, but these were great reference photos. Not that you could buy models back then to use the reference for. It's rather odd shots for close encounters, and yeah, hmm. And that's it. I don't think. I mean, Alan Frank was a good writer. I don't think this is a fluff piece. Um, it it strikes me as it's a cash in, isn't it, on Star Wars and Close Encounters coming out. Hey, science fiction's the new big thing, so we've got to get something out, and this is one of them. And as I say, I've had it all these years. It's pretty good condition. I say I flick through it. I haven't well thumbed it like I have some of my other books. Um, I'm going to come back before long with another one, which is even stranger in its choice of subjects and its mix of imagery. But this is it for now. Yeah, um, these books I remember very fondly. They are completely out of date, as I say, but I'll never get rid of them. This is a little, reminder of the spotty youth me, desperate for a fix of science fiction.